Alright guys, today is an episode of The Best of the Rest, and I've got to be honest, I think this is going to be the final one of these for a while, purely because there is no football in the summer, hardly, especially this year with no international competition. I suppose actually there is the Nations League at the start of June, but the final one for club football anyway. But yeah, get into it. Tottenham beat Burnley 1-0 on Sunday lunchtime yesterday. And I thought Burnley were quite unlucky this game. In two ways. Obviously, the main talking point of the game was the penalty. For me, I think it's one of them where whether it goes for you or against you, that there's reason for both. And I think the team it goes against is always going to feel hard done by, as Burnley do in this instance. Whereas I think if it wasn't given a penalty, I think Tottenham, might question the decision as well. For me, it's funny because none of the players seem to claim it at all. Not even Harry Kane tried to get the ref to give a penalty. But I think it probably is a penalty purely because of how outstretched his arm is, and it's not the most natural position ever. And obviously Burnley will try and claim that it's far too close range, and it is very close, and that is the reason you probably would go against giving the penalty. But for me, just about is purely because of it's very unnatural, and his arm is blocking a potential shot. So yeah, Harry Kane took the penalty. Brilliant job for taking it. He did as well. Put it right in the bottom corner. It was sort of like postage stamp if you've got the letter the wrong way round. Yeah, we'll go with that. It was right in the bottom corner. Nick Pope just didn't have any chance of getting there and just stood still. But having said that though, Nick Pope had an absolutely superb game. Made loads of saves. Emerson Royale had one early on from outside the box, which was going right in the top corner. He saved it. Heung-min Son tried to catch him out from the corner. He saved it. And there were many other chances in the second half. The best one was probably, I think it was Heung-min Son had a shot and it's like point blank range, and he just literally just throws an arm above his head and somehow blocks it. So Nick Pope really did keep Burnley in this one. But Burnley did have a couple of chances of their own. Nathan Collins, who had a superb game, like the first half, he was just getting himself in the way of absolutely everything. And for someone who I don't think was meant to be playing this big a role for Burnley this season, he stepped in and does look like a really good defender, because Burnley do need a new centre-back for next season. With Ben Mee getting slightly older, and also I'm not even sure Tarkowski signed a new contract, so that's also a problem for them. And he just went on this run forward with the ball, slides in Maxwell Cornet, and Hugo Lloris managed to block the shot from Cornet. And Ashley Barnes, whose arm it hit for the penalty, he nearly scored an absolute rocket from about 25-30 yards. Cannoned off the post, unfortunately for him. But yeah, it does show that it wasn't all one-way traffic. Burnley did have a couple of chances throughout the game. But it was a good performance from Tottenham, having said that as well, because, Burnley are never going to be an easy team to break down. They're always fairly solid defensively, even if they have got... They were missing their two most experienced, and I'm not going to say best because Nathan Collins has been very good recently, but they're two most well-known and very good centre-backs in Ben Mee and Tarkowski. They were still going to be tough to break down, and Tottenham managed to do that and hold on to it. And at the moment, they've got a good chance of getting top four. Obviously, Arsenal play Newcastle tonight, and we'll see if they drop points there, but it is looking good for Tottenham at the moment. And Burnley just need to get a few more points. And then yesterday afternoon, 4:30, Everton was beaten at home by Brentford, 3-2. And I think Everton were definitely within reason to be slightly annoyed with one of the decisions. So Everton took the lead from Richarlison, had a shot which he completely fluffed, and it took a nick off Dominic Calvert-Lewin, the tiniest touch, and sort of bounced its way into the far bottom corner. That was Everton taking the lead. And then long ball over the top from Brentford. Ivan Toney's through on goal. Jarrett Brantwaite takes him down, and it is a red card. Brantwaite was too slow to react. However, on the replay, they go back and show you that Christopher Ayer, like literally about 10 seconds before the move happens, has literally got his arms all over Richarlison, and he's virtually pulling his shirt off Richarlison's chest. So for me, that's a 100% penalty, and I think Everton have every right to be annoyed that like VAR didn't even. I don't think they even looked at it, which for me just wasn't right. But if they're not going to give a penalty, it was a red card for Brantwaite. But they should have gone back and given a penalty, which would have wiped out the entire Brentford move. But just before half-time, Everton did get a penalty, incorrectly so. Sorensen at the back for Brentford, who I've not been impressed with in the few times I've watched him this season. He just looks very clumsy and very slow to react to things. Ball bounces towards him and he completely misjudges it, lets it go past him, and just pulls Richarlison down. Definite penalty, and Richarlison puts it away. But David Raya in goal for Brentford was doing that thing that Kepa did in the League Cup final for, I think it was Virgil van Dijk's penalty, where he's literally just standing one side of the goal. That's 2 times I've seen that happen, and it's 2 times it hasn't worked. So do we just give it up now? Probably best. Richarlison tucked it away and put Everton back in front. But in the second half, Brentford came out a better side. They started to get a bit of play going, and from a corner, Jon Visser, who I forgot to mention Brentford's equaliser. Ivan Toney put it across goal. Jon Visser cuts it back. This is in the first half. Visser tries to put it across goal, and it deflects off Seamus Coleman and goes into his own net. And then in the second half, the second equaliser from Brentford, from Visser, it was just a superb header, one of the headers of the season. Corner taken to the near post. Visser runs onto it and uses the back of his head from a ridiculously tight angle and flicks it over everyone into the top corner. Absolutely superb header. Probably, one of the headers of the season. I can't think of too many that are better than that. And that made it level, and just a couple of minutes later, ball gets put into the box. Rico Henry heads it home, and no one was really doing enough to put him off, or even try and attempt to get the ball before he does. And that made it 3-2 to Brentford. And then with about 5 minutes to go, Frank Lampard's obviously, it's emergency situations. So he throws on Solomon Rondon, just hoping he can get an extra attacker up front. And Rondon, who has had, I think it's fair to say, a shocking stint so far at Everton, just both feet off the ground, jumps into a tackle, I think it was on Rico Henry, and catches him on the bottom of the shin. Definite red card. Studs are high. Studs are showing, sorry. And it just a moronic decision from Rondon. And it didn't cost his team the game, but it certainly hasn't helped them. Just stupid decision from him. And I can't remember many other games this season where a team's gone down to 9 men. Anyway, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.